Hi everyone. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Today is December 4th. Today is the cold full moon. Let me see. We got a little bit of a glare here. Let's look this. But all right, here we go. A look into the unknown. Second meeting reading about obscurities. We haven't done anything much until like last week. But let's shut the blinds a little bit. We can see a little bit better. Here we go. So that's how you know. Right now, we're looking at like the FBI, the news conference about the pipe bombing. Right now, we're looking at like what's coming towards us because the psychic reading last night was a little odd. Sorry, my headband's bothering me today. You know, I have to say, it's quite nasty. This cold moon, this cold full moon. So, what do we need to know that's so scared? Something about fawn, like a baby deer, like nasty. It was like in a dream from someone, a baby deer, and the baby deer was dead. And I said this was like morbid right off the bat, So what else do you know? I see cat, I see dog, I see fox, I see a catamaran. I see uh something like you would see like if the Kennedys were out out on the bay. Something about Rhode Island. Something about like the race down there when it happens. Something about inner authority, turning your gaze in. So what is obscured of like we have to like be in and like go within and something like that. I'd have to say is something like that they know, like they exercise their power and their rights, their intuition. You see this, you see soul memories and gifts, and you've done this before. I feel like it is something when I'm looking at the TV with the FBI reference that with the pipe bomb aspect, it's something about like inner authority, inner knowing, inner aspect. I see this, I says like defenselessness, righting past wrongs, uprooting, like it's odd. But what is highly obscure when someone actually is more like in on themselves and actually being outward when it comes to like doing this like a psychic medium in obscurities, that's the obscurity is that when they're not talking, like everything is obscured. Like you're not gonna know until it's in your face on what they did. So when you see this and you see empathic starseed, energetic serenity, observing what is not yours, some people are like that and it's okay. And some people are like not okay with it. It's also too showing like you know when to speak and when you know when not to speak. So when I look at this and I see Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict, there was this growth of the spiritual community about star seeds and crystal children. There was like a huge growth that we had caught, at least out here in my area where I live, where we had to stop and think and say, some of them were not grounded in reality on how it would play out because they got highly defensive with quite a few people. So we said we do feel that something is coming. We do feel that it is a crime. We do feel something is let loose. We do feel like, oh, when we see this, we see inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. There's something that each person like comes and shows their true self. And I go, yeah, but it really is up to them. You know what I mean? But there's also times where you could tell them until they're blue in their face that they were wrong and that they're actually intoxicated. So when you see this and you say birth and creation, tapestry of life and expression, you go, yes, you couldn't even believe it. Couldn't believe it. Most of them ended up having like this hard thing of like came out with a job, came out with everything of like all these instances. And I say some of them actually did it on a free will choice, and some of them I feel did not, because there's quite a few backlash out here in Connecticut about insurance, about like military orders. There's stuff about like being able to read like a book and retain. And so that is where we're at. So we're still having like odd disappearances out here. When you say this, you say my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. It really slowed down on the minors, but when you see the soul gifts training stepping up, I feel like this is something of like a coming in, like a rebirth of it coming back. And I feel some of it is better, and I feel some of it is still like not quite right. I still think that it's still like fine tuned, but you'll have to see. You'll have to see. It's still saying to everyone who is gravitating towards this, because it really was not bad, especially if it calmed people down with Reiki, craniosacral therapy, alternative methods of healing, proper documentation for medical marijuana, and proper rationales. So when you look at it and you say the pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature, you go, these are the people who actually might need to actually slow down. So I look at this and I go, portal, doors are opening, you decide rewards, and wild card. Definitely. There's this time with this cold moon and the new moon where there is a day where everything is able to get DONE. That's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing any like black magic, but I'm also seeing that it's like a purple and green magic. I do see cord ceremonies. I do see binding ceremonies. I do see like high ill, like an Iliad. I see share your song, frequency, sound, diving deep. There's something about attunement and alignment and frequency to like sound therapy, to like a lot of things, a lot of things. When you see this and you go, boundaries, let it go, is not yours to carry. Actually, some people actually come in and go, no, 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 no. We're gonna like alleviate the burden of what you've been doing for a little bit. It's almost like a Christmas present. Here we go. Literary Witches Oracle. Here we go. They're talking about power. They're talking about family. They're talking about bravery. They're talking about the subconscious. These are things that we can't see. This is something that's unknown. Unknown. This is like brand new. It's like a hold them to it and be at bay and pace it out. It's odd. What is that? Let's pick up on that. What is that? Hold them to it, be at bay, and pace it out. This is like a reading that we had in February where you couldn't. It was almost like a type of ceiling effect on a drop down. So when you drop down the drop ceiling and you look through and you go, where was this? This is like dust bunnies. This is like you couldn't even believe it at all. When you see the hedgehog and you see endurance, like you couldn't even make it up. Pace it out. I think the universe is giving us confirmations. When you see the doll, it's something about history known. And oddly, like I was looking at YouTube a little bit, and when I was looking at YouTube, I was looking at how like Anastasia Romanoff came up again, Rasputin, more of the occult coming through because there's something about the dark. Something about the dark. Like homeward trapped. Senses, hunger. I actually see something. There's a lot more talking about like anti ice. They're talking about how this all like plays out with the sexual predators. So my knowledge about sex offenders, about prostitution, about sex trafficking, about all these things, especially how I had to know it as a visiting nurse too, growing about law enforcement and military, is that like how it like you can sense it's near is like fresh cold air. And when you see fresh cold air, you go, something smells odd or it tastes sweet. And then like you get this like inner craving, like this craving for something. And you go, it's something around here. Like you're everyone has these old soul memories where they do these things and they take like a left turn instead of a right turn that day. And they say, I swear to God, I would have had a car accident if I didn't go there. These are the type of things that they start remembering. But when it actually goes out, when how you know like kids are in an area that been about like prostitution, they revert back to like a baby state to where they get incontinent, especially at night. They think they're diabetic, they're eating like candy. They're like dropping like crazy, like crazy. They're like, oh my God, like, are they eating? They actually started measuring out here in Connecticut, like, if people were actually eating enough. And of course, that has like the issue with, what is it? The EBT SNAP situation. This is like really political, like coming out. There's something about health elixir. I was like, I don't know why. Like, I need to get that new Tylenol, Vicks, the extra strength, the red one that just came out, the new flavor. And I went, there's something about elixir and justice. And I was like, is there something about this like flu? You see the story? Like, where's the story going? You go, it's faded now. I'm telling you, it's like it's just something that these people have never done ever. It's highly taboo. Highly taboo. So anti-ICE protesters carried out of New Orleans City Hall. I would have to say we would have to go back to when those inmates escaped. And when they escaped, because we haven't heard much of it, about the toilets, about the hole in the wall, how it's too easy. So I'll address that. There's something about intellect coming to the table. There it is. All right. So when it comes to New Orleans and those who escaped, there's something about endurance. Like I see them actually winded. There's something about like flight known. There's something about birds. There's something about like pork and like toxic masculinity. When I say pork, I'd actually say like the old lobbyists, the lobbyists. When I see this and I see the doll, I don't know, I hear puppet, like a puppet in the mail. When you see this and you see the soul, you go, uh, something's odd, something's odd. When you see this and you see humanity, you go, it is. So then all of a sudden I see the Hatfields and McCoys. I say it's like the wrong marriage. and everyone went wild. When you see this, you see love, like there's something of like love, like coming out of that issue. Intellect, like their intellect is right there in the back of the mind. I see teacup. I do see old 1756. It's a pig, but it meant something else back then. Rabbit, like horse course. When you see this, you see devotion. You go, absolutely, absolutely, working together, voted, working together, vision. Yep, they saw it, and they did it. There's like a book of Revelation, all of a sudden, that they're coming to do it. When you see this and you see history, you go, yep, yep, dishonesty, yep. It's like they already had an arrest record. It's called a rap sheet. So when you do this and you do bond, you do white dress, appearances, society, knowing, when you see the loss, you're like, yeah, they've had loss in their life. And you see this, you see the house, and lastly, oh my God, I like driving a point home. It's a quiet place of growth. It could be. It could be. The eye means like a type of spell. Now, I worked in many places as a visiting nurse. And I worked at a nursing home. I worked at corrections. I worked in a doctor's office for a little bit. And when I say the inmates, when they do, there's a reason why they can't actually like do certain things. They just they just can't do certain things. You're not to walk behind me. You're to walk in front of me. You are to make yourself known. You're to speak clearly, like to the point where it's absurd. Let's look at this. Right, Sage Tarot. There's something about marriage. They didn't like that. They didn't like being solid. When you see this, you see justice coming in reverse. It was nasty. It was to a point of a cutout. When you see this, you see the Nine of Wands, hypervigilant, locked down, looking around. They couldn't even believe it. And you see this, and you see the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Like they lost something, money, tangible, something tangible. Some of the inmates, some of the maybe probation and parole, like you couldn't even understand it. Oh my God. When you see this and you see the Six of Cups, I have to say it's happened before, 1927, right before I let out. It's Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde. They did this right before Bonnie and Clyde. All of a sudden, like Clyde was known, like he was not supposed to be let out or anything. There was terms, and all of a sudden he's just. It's just this is what it is. So when I see this, and I see the King of Swords. You go, it's all contracted. It's all legal. It's all judicial. It's all like old money. It's all like still replaying out, running over and over. That's how they still live on. Alrighty. Fade in Oracle. Here we go. There's something about dream time. There's something about universal heart. There's something about universal knowledge. So two universals. Again, I'm seeing the fawn. The fawn. taking chances. When you see this, you go, Merope. There's something about like the light sky. When you see this, you see star centers. I see them like talking. When you see the light sky, especially with the full moon, and you're like, I swear. Like, did I really see that? Is that a UFO? Is that an ET? When you see this and you start remembering, like, wait a minute. Crystalline grids, like the aurora borealis, quantum heart, then all of a sudden, like, they're there. And you see this, you see portals, again, a door opening up. So as I'm looking at a calendar, that door opening up, we got the 4th, we got the new moon. I'd have to say it's going to be the 11th or the 17th. The 11th or the 17th. There's something about creativity with us. About opening those doors. Opening up a portal. Alright, Akashic Tarot. Alright, Archangel Michael with the Queen of Scrolls. There's something biblical. I don't know why I'm saying like how it's biblical with this, but it really is at the same time. I'm seeing how it like plays out. It's almost like don't even go there. When I see this, I see Archangel Gabriel. And when I look at the Ark of the Covenant, there's something about a box, like a gift. There's like a red box, there's like a green box. And when you see it, they're literally like, what you're looking for is in a red box. You couldn't even see it. They're going like the waterfall comes in, you see the reflection, you see the Queen of Keys, you see diversity, and then you see community. There's something about like a working together for like a type of marriage, or like I kept talking about last night at another video about proposals, about marriage. I'm hearing like don't in the like an energy. I would wait until Christmas. I would wait until New Year's, and I would plan your weddings like throughout the next year, like so traditional. There's something about not rushing in, no play on words, rushing, that it goes, I would watch it. When you see this and you see the King of Scrolls, it's already known. When you see this, you see the Divine Physician. There's something about making sure everything is 100% clear. When you see this and you see Hilarion, there's something about this. When I look at this card, I always say this too with this card when it comes out, it is something about like Greece and Rome and the pillars and the way that the pillars, certain styles mean certain things. When you see this and you see Uriel and the Sphinx, like it's talking about known, like you've seen it before. When you see this and you see the light of the world, you go, Paul Revere can't ride tonight, my dear, but they can come in and say hello. And you say, absolutely, absolutely. When you see this, you see the muse, you really look at the cherry trees. When you look at the cherry trees down in DC and you walk around the monuments, there's something about knowing that something was there And like you look into museums, like certain artifacts are not out on display, but we know they're there. Something about a book in a tree. Okay, let's go to the animal spirit oracle because that's very where the everything is. Okay, split of the deck. You got whale and you got scorpion. Tell me about a February. Something was done like we talked about between a February 12th through almost like end of March on a free will choice. You see spider, seeing the cobwebs. I'm seeing octopus. I'm seeing mouse. And I'm seeing beaver. It's like old tones. Old tones. Like I'm sitting in maybe MEPS because I was in the National Guard for about a year. And you literally put on your hearing test and you can hear it. And you're sitting there like old tones. When you see this, you see deer, and you go back to the fawn. What do we need to know about that fawn? Something about peacock. A peacock came out again. Divine splendor, divine knowing, divine intuition. Let's look at poplar wood. Okay, so that room fell down. We'll look at it last. Something about wealth and chimney. There's something about lake. There's something about havoc. There's something about living. When you see this, you see like something at night. Like when you look at the like the reflection at night, you have to say like go to town and go get the police. There's some people who have been in law enforcement and military long enough where they are superstitious. They are old. So at certain times of the year and certain times of the day and certain times of the night, they might go out and might take a look and they're like, no, go do this because this has happened before. When you see this, you see right out, there's something about like patrol at night. And when you see this and you see something about a gift that you couldn't even do. You couldn't even do. There's something about strength about this. When I look at this, you can't even say it hard enough. Say it hard enough. Canoe. Like I feel like how they were talking about anti-ice so much up to where they were like enforcing it. It's like it's about rhetoric. Rhetoric is let me put it down into actual definition. The actual definition of rhetoric is one beknownst to known, one beknownst to known to be a bee. So basically, it is I saw it, I heard it, I felt it's true. So then they go into that alignment. Then it goes into the differential, to the diversity, to the ethnicity, down to it. And it goes, because you're Latin American, because you're African American, because this is already known about you. Then it goes into all those terms that we go into. So when you go into rhetoric, and the rhetoric goes that you already know that it's known that they will come in and they will do this. And they go, yeah. And that's why they're really not liking the new mayor in New York, some of them, because of socialism. Socialism is known to test to the fullest max. of the person to the highest max of none. So when you look at Karl Marx, you go, there's a lot of power, there's something about wealth, there's something about gaslighting with Karl Marx, and you'd have to watch for it. There's something about like a wheel of luck to the type of trolling where I'm still seeing that stone wheel where it's square in the middle with moss on it. And it's like so old Ireland where I'm looking at this TV show called Outlander and I'm like, did she touch the stones and go back in time? Because you can't even see it coming. The trolling of like the freeze is like, no, it's not time yet. About like there's something about an arrest. All forms of meaning of arrest. It's odd. It's odd. Let's take a look at this one. What is this one? Instinct. It's all about instinct. All right, put these away. Here we go. Let's take a look at the Tarot Sacred Kingdoms. What else that we need to know that's obscured? Because you're on this cold moon. Okay. The Hangman in reverse, long pause. A long pause comes in with the cold moon to the new moon through this. There's something about what we had talked about, stale air. Let me see this. There's something of like Two of Wands. There's like a huge block on December. Huge block. When you see this, you see the King of Swords. Again, there's something that wants to come forward. All right, iconic actress Halle Berry is they're chit chatting about Governor Newsom. All of them are upset about there. All of them are so upset about the fires. You see the Six of Pentacles. There's something about like what they're aware of, what he's capable of doing, and it wasn't put into play. So when you see this, you see the Magician. He's like, I'm using all of it. That's what the Magician is calling out on that card. I'm using all of it about myself. I mean, I just can't even do it at all. When you see the High Priest, it's like a high mark, make a rank. And you go, holy cow, holy cow. When you see this and you go to the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, you say, I mean, I saw it, I heard it. I mean, we might have to do it. The Eight of Pentacles is literally saying there's no skill to this. There is a lot of skill. There's a lot of skill. All right. So when you see this and you see the Nine of Cups, it's all going to come together and it's like holding your own about babies. Something about babies. When you see this and you see the Three of Pentacles, I have to say this is like odd. But you have to look at exactly what are they eating, what are they drinking, as everyone comes into the hospital, as everyone really looks at this and where it is like true. All the way down to like the star. When you see this, wishes fulfilled, I definitely see on the 25th. I definitely see on the 16th, all the way to like the 1st through the 8th. Like people are so happy about being with their family. That being said, we see the Queen of Swords. There's something of a feminine energy, a universal collective, and it could be even a man using feminine energy, which is absolutely fine, for the cutting away with logic. That's all you need to know. So, with that being said, that's all you need to know for now. Leave a like, a comment, and share is greatly appreciated. Everything is on Linktree for readings and classes, social media, other things. Also for donations and tips. So go ahead, have a good day, and we will talk to you soon.